Welcome to the Poetry of Justice show with JackieRay Phillips here on YikesRadio.com and AcceleratedRadio.net. Here on the Poetry of Justice show, this is where social consciousness meets the arts. And what we do is we select topics that spark the interest and awareness of social diversity, ranging from arts, entertainment, and social justice at large, leaving our listeners thinking and saying,
YikesRadio.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, those are the sultry sounds of my mentor, the Mr. Kevin Nash. And you know Mr. Nash is the owner of this proprietorship here at Accelerated Radio. And so I always like to take time to just give Kevin a special shout out, because if it wasn't for Kevin and his brainchild, I wouldn't be doing what I so love to do here on Saturday nights. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I give a very special shout out to my sponsorship here to my left, Miss Lori Ray Fisher of Gingy Productions and Entertainment Company. And I like to also call her the benefactor, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for joining us tonight, Miss Lori G. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give a very special shout out to some more of our sponsorship, G Babies Catering. That's GBABBIES Catering, ladies and gentlemen. That's Chef Mac. I want you to check him out. That's my nephew. You can find him on Instagram. Again, that's G Babies Catering, ladies and gentlemen. And then I've got to give a very special shout out to the man of steel at WMPJ Steelworks, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the big guy. And then, last but most certainly not least, I'd like to give a very special shout out to APS Muscle Cars, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you a little something about APS Muscle Cars, guys. This gentleman over here is fierce, ladies and gentlemen. If you have, maybe you may have a low rider you need to store because you got all these big toys and motorcycles and things, and you don't want to, keep it at your crib because you've outgrown them. This is the guy you want to talk to house all of that. Customization, building hot rods, all of that. His name is Memo. Want to check him out? MEMO, ladies and gentlemen. Again, APS Muscle Cars sponsorship here on the Poetry of Justice show with JackieRay Phillips on YikesRadio.com and AcceleratedRadio.net. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And you ready for a ride?
I am so ready.
Hello, Mr. Baron Jay Littleton Jr. How are you tonight, dear sir?
Oh, I love that voice. I am on top of the world.
Woo! Lights, camera, and action, everybody. I tell you that. So, Baron, I have like pages and pages of information on you, and I don't even know where to start other than the beginning. So, I want to ask you. What you thinking?
You say you don't know where to start. I'm like, wow, you got some stuff from the FBI, CIA, and
My God, I do. No, seriously, because we went to all of the web pages and I got information from so many angles. But I think maybe we can start at the beginning. I think our listeners would like to know. Okay, Lord, this is what we do. Let me just for a few, ladies and gentlemen, on Yikes Radio. We were also in YouTube. Thank you so much for joining
Baron's
us.
ready. Look at him.
We have Baron J Foundation, right, ladies and gentlemen. These are just to name a few, a couple of things just right out the gate. We've got www.heritageclub.net. That is another website I want you guys to jot down because we're going to be talking about that more throughout the show. I also have another web I want you to jot down about this gentleman. It is Sow a Seed with Baron J. That's SOW. A is in Apple, S is in Sam, E is in Eddie, E is in Eddie, D is in David, with Baron, B is in Big Boy, ARON, J is in Jackie, A is in Alice, Y is in Yolanda.com. Sow a Seed with Baron J. This gentleman has very humble upbringing from Detroit, ladies and gentlemen, and things that really invigorates him is inventors. He is a man who's very excited about inventing things and making our own and creating our own and heritage and culture and pride and knowing where we are in life is where you're supposed to be at that moment and seizing that moment and making the best of it, no matter what the odds are. I also learned from this gentleman already that we need to learn to listen. And in addition to learning to listen, we need to know when to jump in and ask questions, when to know to go further, when to know that we are worthy of our journey and our path. So, without further ado, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, again, the Mr. Baron J. Baron J.
What's up?
That's our mouthful. How you doing tonight, Baron?
You know what? I am on top of the world, no complaints. I have gratitude, and I'm just thankful to be here amongst the living. And and I think that I'm very thankful that I'm very healthy, and and I'm here with you guys this evening.
All right, Lori G. What are you thinking about? So you
Well,
got a
Baron,
page of notes over there.
I do. Yes, I was inspired. But I just want to tell you, I love that little video, the
Mhm.
biographical video that you have on your Baron J Foundation website page.
Yes.
And I have a special place for Detroit, Michigan in my heart. My
Mhm.
husband's family's from Detroit. So I'd like for you to start maybe telling us a little bit about your mom and your dad. I don't know if this is correct, but in watching your biographical story, it sounds like they were very inspirational for you along this particular journey. So, why don't you start us out in Detroit, Michigan, and the family in which you were blessed to be born?
Man.
Okay, so it all started in like 1974 when my parents first met. They lived on the same block in Detroit, Michigan, Pasadena Street in Detroit, Michigan. My father stayed on the other side of Pasadena, one block down. My mother stayed on the other side. He met my mother because he was a paper boy. And remember back in the day, students, kids used to be paper boys and deliver newspapers and make money for a living.
I do.
Yeah.
Eh, You're right. And he met my mother when he was like 14 and she was like 16. And when he became 15 and she was 17, they became pregnant with me.
Wow.
And they were very afraid. My mother had told me that my father had gave her some type of pill because they thought they can abort the child, but that didn't work. And
Oh,
my father worked at KFC as well.
Mhm.
He was the manager, so my mother lived off the KFC. And my mother hid her pregnancy from her parents for the entire 9 months. And my
the
mother's
whole nine.
brothers, the whole 9 months, because my
Oh
mother
my.
was skinny and she wore
Hmm.
big clothes.
Right.
And therefore, back in the days, both parents were working. So they
Mhm.
really didn't probably get a chance to see the kids because in action, they're going to work, coming home, sleeping, cooking dinner, going to sleep. So she was able to get away with it. And when my mother was sick and had to stay home from school, her brother, David, which is my uncle, he would help her. He would stay home with her when she was sick. So her brothers knew that she was pregnant, David and Kevin and Craig, but they kept her from the parents. And her mother found out, which is my grandmother Ethelene Colston, when her water broke in the kitchen. That's when she found out that she was pregnant with me.
Oh my God.
And she
Oh
and she's
wow.
like, "Oh my God, you!" She's like, "Yes." And she had to rush her to the hospital. And it's a blessing.
Wow.
And I was supposed to be here because my mother never went to the doctor. I don't know if she ate the proper food. She didn't take any vitamins, no prenatal, no nothing. Man, I came out very healthy and strong.
Mhm.
And during that time, like in the 76, your parents were ashamed, kind of shame if you had a baby at that age, because they're like, oh well, we marry and your child having a baby is kind of like a shame. So her mother and father, which were my grandparents, I think they tried to make it seem like it was their baby, but that didn't work very long. So
That is.
um, yeah, so those were my humble beginnings. I was a hidden secret. I feel like I was a hidden gem. You know, because no one knew that I was here on Earth until it was time for me to come to Earth. But my parents never got married. My father ended up going off to college. My mother did not. He was upset that my mother didn't want to go to college.
Okay.
And my mother stayed home and raised me. And they never married. My mother still hasn't been married, but my father's been married twice. And also my mother had help with with my grandparents help raising me as well, and my uncle. So I had a lot of love uh, growing up. Yeah,
Mhm.
not necessarily we didn't have all the money in the world. We weren't wealthy, but we had a lot of we had a lot of love where I didn't know that I wasn't wealthy because of the love that I received from my family. And I didn't know I was poor until I became a bat boy for Major League Baseball when I was working around millionaires, and when I became a caddy for Detroit Golf Club, and I was working around all these different millionaires. Like, damn, they got a lot of money. I don't have money like that. And I realized that when I was around those type of people, I felt very wealthy, even though I didn't have the money. But just being around that energy, that presence, damn, I felt wealthy. I was like, how can that be? How can I feel rich when I don't have it, but I'm around them and they wealthy, but I feel that way. So I guess during that time, it has something to do with who you hang around with and the energy and how it makes you feel. So I guess to this day, based on who you circulate, who you hang around with, and who you associate with, if you hang around a lot of people that are not on your above your level or on your level, you can feel kind of depressed. Now, I'm not saying that. I think in life you need to have people above yourself that you associate with. You need to have people on your level. Then also you need to have people that you can mentor and help and bring up to your level. So you need to be at three different phases. You need to have friendships at all different levels.
Question for you right here, because you said something, you said a lot of things, and when I was doing my research, you talked about your passion for helping others, but you also say here that helping people, there's some people that you cannot help. It says helping people, can you, and I wanted to ask you, can you elaborate? And you also went on to say that you cannot help everybody. Can you explain that? You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can be, you can't help everybody. What, explain that.
No, as an individual, as one person, no one person can help everyone, but everyone is assigned to help one person or some group of people. It may be 1 to 100, but no one person can help everyone. Like there's some people that I can help and assist that you particularly can't help and assist. There's some people that you are helping that I cannot help, and that could be from personality type, attitude, um, how you grew up, how they relate to you. It could be many different factors, but not everyone can relate to me or to my situation or to my personality or a lot of different things. So no one person can help everybody, but everybody everybody can help somebody, and if everybody helps somebody, everybody's been helped.
If everybody likes somebody, everybody's being helped, right? You have something?
So, Baron, your entrepreneurial spirit, at least from your pre interview when we talked, started pretty young. I think you were, did you say you were 14?
Yeah, 14.
Tell us about
And
that,
maybe
that spirit.
I know.
yeah, that spirit that happened. Wow, I think maybe it happened when I was 13. I remember my father had called me and said, "Hey, you want a job?" And I was like, "Dad, I already have a job. I'm working as a police cadet, making $70 a week." But I said, "Yes, I take your job." And my job was to help him uh, do landscaping work around his house. And he said, "Son, do you want to get paid by the job or by the hour?" And I had to think about that. I was like, I said, "I want to get paid." I said, I needed a coach then or someone to counsel me. But my father teaching me a lesson. I said, I want to be paid by the hour.
No.
And then I was doing all this work so fast. I was like, damn it, I'm finishing all this work fast. I only made
Right.
$5. I said, I could charge him $10 to do this job and make more money. And I said, Dad, I want to get paid by the job now. After 2 weeks, he said, oh no, it's too late now. And he taught me a lesson there. I was like,
Oh, no.
okay. Because I was like, man, because I didn't know.
No,
But
we didn't know.
but he taught me. Then when I was in middle school, my gym coach, Miss Horace, was selling candy to raise money for the basketball team or for the sports, and she sell this candy during lunchtime. And I saw her, all the kids buying candy from her, and she was earning a lot of money. I said, wait a minute, I can do that. So I started purchasing candy at wholesale from a wholesaler. I used to buy a box of M&Ms for like $8 and sell it for 50 cents, 36 packs, sell it for 50 cents and make a profit of like $8 to $9 off each box. And that's how I started. I was like, wow, I can make money buying product wholesale and selling at retail. And those basic things right there, they didn't teach that. They didn't teach us that in school. They didn't teach us that in middle school. That's something they should have been teaching us. Hey, you need to buy product. You can buy. This is where you can have a business. You can buy product at wholesale and then sell it at retail. They should have gave us examples of that. But that was something I had to figure out on my own. And ever since then, I began selling candy. Then when I got in high school, I got better at it. And I used to stand next to the vending machines, because the vending machines were selling the candy for 50 cents, where I have a big bag of candy that I purchased ahead of time, like with 300 candy bars in there. And I used to put them in a freezer so they can be frozen. So when I get to school, they won't melt. And then doing each class period, when you have to go to each class, you usually have like a 5-minute break before you get to each class. And I would go right up next to the vending machines and post up. And I used to sell more candy than the vending machines, because at the vending machines, you have to wait in line, and each student has to put their quarters in there or put $1 in there to get their candy bar. And that takes time. Whereas me, I'm at the vending machine and I got my bag open and I'm like, everybody knows 50 cents. So people give me 50 cents, dollar grabbing their candy, and I'm making like $10 or $20 like every period. And I was like, wow, this is the way to earn.
Did the school allow you to do that there? they didn't see you as a threat or competition?
Conflict of interest.
Yes, they did. My teacher, the principal, Miss Polk, I got expelled from school. They knew I was doing it, but then the guy that owned the vending machines was the African American guy. He would get mad at me, and he would put fear in me. Say, hey, you don't be selling candy next to my vending machines. And that guy that was owned the vending machines, he was also our referee for our sports games. So he used to give me bad calls because he knew I was the guy selling candy next to his vending machines.
Goodness, that's terrible.
Yeah.
They expelled you for having a business?
Yeah.
Lori.
Yeah, exactly.
That's terrible.
Truth be, my daughter used to do that. Lord, you remember?
She did.
My youngest daughter would do that. My mother, and they would take. Well, anyway, they would go to a wholesale store, and they would do just like you talking about. And she would get this candy. But for a long time, my mom didn't realize what she was doing. But every weekend, she needed more and more candy. So my mother finally asked her, how are you? She goes, I sell it, Grammy. I'm selling it at school. Remember she was selling it?
She was, but I think she got into a little trouble.
She did. She got busted too. And we were able to kind of talk her out of the situation.
Yeah, she didn't get expelled or suspended, but
yeah, no, she would do that.
Exactly. So, Baron, did you grow up in Detroit or LA area?
I grew up in Detroit, Michigan.
In Detroit.
And then when I turned 18, I got a scholarship to Michigan State University, and I went to East Lansing, Michigan, and I went to school there for 4 to 5 years. Once I completed that journey, then I moved to California, and I've been here 20 years.
I really would like for you, for our listeners that are in college or planning to go to college, and they are discouraged about financing that journey. During your pre-interview, you have a marvelous story about how you went after a scholarship to take ownership for your journey in college. Can you share that with our listeners?
Yes, absolutely. I was a police cadet working at Palmer Park in Detroit, Michigan. And police cadets are young kids that patrol the park in groups. And they paid us like $67 a week for 20 hours. And I used to see these gentlemen with khaki pants on and green shirts at the park chilling. I went up to her, I said, what do you guys do? I was inquisitive. I asked a lot of questions. Questions mean quests, And they told me, they said, I'm a caddy. I'm like, what's a caddy? It's like, we carry people golf bags. I'm like, golf bag? He said, yeah. So you familiar with Tiger Woods? I said, yeah, he has a caddy that carries a golf bag. I said, oh, okay. Then I started watching golf. I said, oh, that's a caddy right there.
Mm-hmm.
This is when Tiger Woods first came into the league when he was like 18 or 19 years young.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. And I said, how much do you guys make? It's like, we make $40 a loop. I'm like, what is a loop? It's like 18 holes. I'm like, 18 holes? I said, how long does it take to do 18 holes? They're like 4 hours. And I said, how much you guys make? They said, we make like $40 or $50. And I'm like, damn. I said, what you guys make in 4 to 5 hours? And one day I'm making a week working 20 hours. You guys make the same amount. You guys work 5 hours or 8 hours and make that what I'm making, and you guys make that in one day. It takes me a week to make it. I was like, damn. I said, I want to do what you guys are doing. So how can I do it? They said, you need to go talk to Bill Cloven, the caddy master. I said, okay. So I went up there and talked to Bill Cloven. He said, well, we're not hiring any caddies this year, but come back in March and spring and go through caddy training and you can become a caddy. So I did that, and I became a caddy when I was like 15. And you start off as a beginner caddy, then you work your way up to master caddy. I think I became master caddy like within a year or a year and a half. And when I was in the caddy shack, it said you can earn a full scholarship to college if you work here 2 years and graduate top 25% of your class. So I inquired about that, and it's like, yeah, this is true. So I said, I'm keeping this job. I get paid good money. They feed me on the golf course. I meet businessmen, CEOs, politicians, and I can earn a full scholarship to college. I said, this is God sent.
For
So,
sure. Absolutely.
and I used to tell my homies back in Detroit, Michigan, I was like, yo, man, I said, you guys need to become a caddy at the golf course. They were like, nigga, I ain't carrying no white man's son. I'm like, oh boy, come on, dog, man, you get paid good money. You get a scholarship to college? Nope, I'm not doing that.
Nope, none of it.
I was like, all right. And and then I found out how huge the scholarship was. The Evans Scholarship is paid for by the Western Golf Association, which was started by Chick Evans, an amateur golfer back in the early 1900s. And they send over 1,000 caddies to college each year, and it's a full scholarship. And we stay in our own house, and they pay for our schooling. It's a great experience, and they pay for scholarships at all the Big Ten universities like Ohio State, Michigan, and Michigan State, Indiana, Iowa, those type of Big Ten universities. Excellent scholarship. Anybody can do it. If you're in high school, go to the Western Golf Association website and apply. You can reuse my name, say Barham J Foundation refers you, probably get some special privilege. And it's an awesome scholarship. So, but you have to caddy for 2 years. So you need to start in either the 9th or 10th or 11th grade. And also they have a caddy academy that we started for students who don't live in the Midwest, but maybe live on the West Coast, where they can apply in January and caddy over the summer in Chicago for 2 years.
Okay.
Barry,
So great opportunity.
I was going to wonder, how has the pandemic affected that aspect of what it is you do for your students and things of that nature? Can you share that with us, please?
Yes, since March of 2020, we have not been able to go into the classrooms because we do our programming inside the classrooms at the schools. We have a contract with LAUSD, which is the second largest school district in the nation, Los Angeles Unified School District. So we're not able to go into the classrooms because there's no school. So now everything is virtual, probably for the next 6 months or to a year. So now we have to figure out how to do Zoom and use this technology with the teacher, which has access to the students that are at home. So things have slowed down because we're not able to do that many Zooms because the teachers and the students are getting used to the technology and using it themselves. So it's kind of challenging for them to bring in us for some extracurricular activities, some extra knowledge with their present workload when they have to get used to it, doing it via using this technology, Zoom.
Zoom
So it slowed us up.
technology.
It slowed us up a lot. Yeah, it slowed us up a bit, but eventually it's going to speed up. Sometimes you have to slow down so that you can speed up. And right now, we have slowed down, and I know within the 6 months we will be speeding back up once the students and the teachers get used to this new technology and delivering content over the web.
Sure. Baron, I was also reading about your foundation and your slogan, each one, reach one, teach one, and just blown away with the amount of programming that your foundation provides for the community and our youth. Can you share with our listeners a little bit of the type of programming you do when you guys go into the classrooms?
Yes. I would describe the programming that we do inside the classrooms, and I'd be very brief and quick with it. I give you like snapshots. I like to consider us like the Boys and Girls Club without walls because we go into the schools to do the programming. 'Cause we make it very accessible for the students because you don't have to count on the students coming to you. They may come and they may not. The parents may bring them, they may not. But if you there where they are, you know they're going to get the information. So one of the programs is entrepreneurship basics. You know, learning about business plans, learning about flipping houses, um, learning about REOs, learning about IPOs, those different things that they would not get in the classroom. Another one is riches to wealth, which is financial literacy, learning about credit, personal credit, business credit, learning about life insurance, how you can use life insurance, as a as a bank, learning about how to lease a car, buy a car, how to purchase a home. So different things that are life skill, which we do not get in school because they're not focused on that. But when you run across these things when you become 18 and 19 and for the first time, and it can mess you up if you don't have any basic knowledge of it. Because school is basically taught the public school system is used just for you to pass tests, standardized tests, not to give you life skills that you actually need to survive. Other one is health and wellness, and other one's creative arts, where students get a chance to do acting classes, write short stories, and actually get a chance to produce those short stories via video. So those are things that we do.
Wow.
Gosh, that's so much.
It is. And I also enjoyed the career development
I know.
because I think that is so needed with our youth. How to write a resume, how to fill out an application, how to interview.
Yes.
Those skills, as you say, are not taught in the classroom.
Oh, did you want to share with
Right.
Aaron like a little bit of our upbringing and commitment to education and some of the programs we ran out of our home?
Yeah, we did. We my sister and I are from a family of educators, and very proud to say that our children are becoming a part of that educational village. We
Hmm.
have three that are teachers right now, and one
Right.
that is an attorney on her way. Uh, Bar results come soon, so
Yay.
fingers crossed, guys. But we did a lot
Right.
of programming where we are from the city of Compton, and our family
Mm.
partnered with Compton Unified School District. We offered tutoring programs, after school enrichment programs. Did a series of parent workshops. I did a lot of those with Centennial Senior High School in connection with the Title I funds grant to
Yep.
allow parents to be more present, to kind of understand how to kind of work and partner with their children. And so it's just a part of our DNA, which is why I was so enamored
Yeah.
at your resume and your foundation and our special precious project, which we completed about 3 years ago, is we brought live theatrical arts to the city of Compton.
Yay.
And we produced their first live stage production, which was The Bluest Eye in the Compton Neighborhood Center. And it was staffed, our cast, with people from the community as well as professional actors. And it was wonderful. We had actors that were, 50 plus years old who had raised their families and had dreamed about doing something like this, but were derailed because you have to do what's important. Raising that family is definitely
Right.
most important. So it was a loving, special project of which we're very proud of, and just grateful that we had that opportunity. So I wanted our listeners
That's
to,
beautiful.
yeah, definitely hear about your organization and all the youth literacy that you provide. I think it's incredible.
Baron, can you talk to us a
Thank
little bit about your filmmaking? That piece of you. How did that develop itself?
um, Filmmaking came about because I'm an actor. I moved to California, came here to pursue acting. But also, I have learned that there's other things you can do besides act, which is you can write, you can direct, you can produce, you can work behind the scenes and other facets of the business to produce a movie. There's grips, electricians, painters, wardrobe. And what interests me, was not only acting, but also producing. Coming up with an idea, coming up with a concept, and hiring a writer to write the project for you, then going out to get the funding to produce the project. So after a while, when I found how challenging it was to get acting gigs, going after acting gigs, going off the audition, I was like, wow, I need to be all this effort I'm putting in for an audition to get a movie role. I can put the same effort in to finding my own project, finding my own money, and producing my own project and putting myself in it. So I think after maybe like 10 years, and that's what I started to do. I started finding projects that are very simple. Like the last 3 movies that I shot, someone say, Baron, all your projects take place in a house. I was like, wow, you're right about that. So all my movies, my last 3 movies, all my movies took place in a house because you can control the environment and you can shoot in many different rooms and outside, and you can control the location. You can keep the budget low. So that's been my filmmaking. Then, so I said, you know what? While I'm doing this filmmaking, I know how challenging it is for other students that are in middle school and high school to get this experience. So I said, listen, they can job shadow and intern on my projects. And then also I have other colleagues that are in the business that are independent producers, got production companies. And I said, hey, I can reach out to them, do alliances and say, hey, can some of these kids come down to the set to job shadow and intern, and for you to talk to them on the set so they can see this in real life? Because this is right in their backyard. Could you imagine something in your backyard and you don't even get a chance to see it? That's like a big tease. So I've been able to do that with Hidden Empire Film Group, which is owned by Roxanne Taylor and Deion Taylor. They produced a movie called The Intruder with Michael Ealy and Dennis Quaid, and also with Tridestin Studios. So we've been able to give students job shadowing opportunities, and also with Harvard Studios too. That's owned by Bentley Cow Evans and Trent Gums. So through those relationships that I cultivate, I've been able to give students those opportunities. So it's kind of like one of my gifts is leadership and giving back. So I've been able to use my gifts in a important way.
Baron, I have 2 things. They're a little bit disjointed, but I think we'll have time for both of those. The first one
My mind
is
is too.
the first one is I still to land a contract with LAUSD is huge, right? That's really big
Yes.
to be able to land that type of contract. And so I think it would be great if you were able to provide some guidance or some words of wisdom as to how you went about you know trying to slay this big dragon to get your RFP in front of someone. I think minority businesses sometimes struggle trying to land that big fish.
No,
Yes.
absolutely. Okay, I say I'm gonna step back a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna tell you how I got the contract with LAUSD. It was not only me, but it was probably other. It was probably like 30 other providers that got the same contract as well. So I remember I wanted to be a substitute teacher for LAUSD, and I said this is a way for me to get in, make some money when I'm not acting, some extra money to support me. This is maybe, and I said also I can meet the principals, and also I said, hey, can I bring my program to your schools? But I could never pass the CBEST test. I think I took it twice. I could never pass it. I'm like, what the hell is on this test? I said, I'm too brilliant to take this test because I'm failing it. So God found another way for me. Uh, and that way was I had went to go speak at the Screen Actors Guild. I think that whenever somebody offer you to come speak or to be on a radio show or any event, you should attend, because I had went there to speak on something. I have no idea what it was, but I think I was speaking on my nonprofit. And you never know who's in the audience. I didn't know who was in the audience. It was like 15 people there. And I got up and said who I am and what I'm doing and my background. And then someone came up to me. His name is Roy Pullins. He's like, I'm the executive director of the arts branch at LAUSD. And I love to sit down with you. I got his card and we sat down and we had lunch. And he told me when we had lunch, he said, hey, we love to have some of your program at the schools. We have we have our second RFP coming up and you should apply for it. And I didn't know anything about the RFP or anything with LAUSD. So I applied for it and I got it. And I know the reason why I got it is because of him. And that's how it happened. I didn't seek out for it. It just landed in my lap, because sometimes when you have the right intention, things just start falling in your lap.
Right. Absolutely. And the power of networking. Has that
Yes.
been important in your journey, Baron?
Yes, it has. The power of networking has been very important in my journey. I got to say, like my friend Dana Pump says, it's all about the relationships. Relationships are everything. So networking is very crucial. You have to be likable, you have to be personable, and you have to be able to get along with people. And sometimes people don't care about what you know or what you can do. They care about if they like you, they want to hang around you and be with you. So, the power of networking is number one in my book.
Baron, say that again. It's definitely about you being amenable, right? You being someone
Yes.
people like to be around, right? That will definitely, because I tell my students that I work with is that so many skills are teachable, right? But there are some things that are more innate, and it's our ability to listen, right? Our ability to build and construct interpersonal relationships. And that is something we're not teaching at university necessarily.
Nope.
I think it does help studying the arts, doesn't it? Particularly acting.
Yes, it does.
Because everything you do is built on developing that relationship, developing that storytelling ability. So that's my plug for everybody to take an arts-related acting class.
Yes.
I like this.
I think
Go ahead, Barry.
I think everyone should take an acting class, no matter what profession you are in. Johnny Cochran took acting classes, and he did it so that he can be comfortable presenting in front of a jury. You may want to take it. You may want to take it if you present in front of a lot of CEOs or presidents or in front of your colleagues. You may want to take an acting class so you can feel more comfortable. So everything is needed.
Everything is needed. I like when you say no one cared what you knew until they knew how much you care. Do you remember that, Barry?
Yes. Yes, I do.
I like that. And discovering your life's purpose. You know what I'm saying? I have a question for you, though. Obviously, I have silver. I know. Okay, thank you. The word black versus African American. And you say, do you have a preference of one over the other when speaking of us as a nation of people?
Do I have a preference whether we use the word black or African American?
Yes, sir.
Or African?
African American versus black.
Well, I use them based on what makes people comfortable. I know in my book, it was like African American, blacks in sports. I use both of them. So
Just wondering.
Because a lot of people who are not Black or African American, they get confused. They be like, do I call you Black or do I call you African American? Or they be confused.
Exactly.
They don't know because the label is changing every 30 years, it seems.
That's
So,
why I was wondering, because it's a label,
right.
right, what do we do with that label? You know?
So either I'm fine with both of them,
Okay.
but we are Americans. When we leave America, they don't look at you as Black or African American. They look at you as an American,
Mm-hmm.
and that tripped me out. Cause I remember when I first went out of the country, it's like your nationality is like African American. Like, no, you're American. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay, reality.
So only in America we have all these subgroups, but it's amazing. In America, they have all these divisions. But when you leave out of America, you're just an American.
Mhm.
No one's looking at us, oh, as you're Italian, you're Black, you're white. No, you're just an American. So why do America do that? But we know why. But
Right,
that'd be another
right.
conversation. But
Because I was going to ask you about that, but I think the point was because I was going to ask you a couple questions from there about Black heritage and culture. How do you express your importance and what we need to pass on to the generations behind us? Black culture, Black heritage. What does that mean to you?
Black culture, Black heritage, what it means to me is the accomplishments that we have conquered in the past and accomplishments that we are conquering in the present moments right now. And I think it's important for the people, or especially our youth, to know some of those great things about themselves. Because if they don't have anything to click onto, like they don't feel like they're worth anything. So it's good to know what your ancestors have done, what other people that look like you have done, so that you can feel important, so you can feel empowered. Because when you walk outside, you see everything, all the billboards are white, the magazines are white, everything is white, white, white. You be like, it's more brown and Black people on this earth than other people. But when you go out into the world, you see white, 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 everything. So you start feeling like if you're young, you don't mean anything, you're not worth anything. So it's important for us to pass on the great accomplishments and also to honor the great accomplishments of people of melanin skin. What are they doing today? Like this shirt I have on right now, the slogan, it says, my ancestors created the light bulb. Ain't no telling what I would do.
Love
Hashtag
that.
the light.
Right. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
That
So when
sparks a.
you know,
Go ahead.
yeah. So when you know some of the great things that people that look like you have done, that empower you. Just think, our kids our kids now think, oh, I can be the president of the United States. 20 years ago, kids weren't thinking like that. Oh, that'd never happen because they never seen anybody like that.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Sissy.
And now we can become the vice president of the United States.
I know,
Right.
right?
Woohoo.
Exactly.
Gerald, I see you got something to say, Mr. Tapper. What were you going to say, sir?
Lori, and your questions were very nice, and what's even more amazing is the way Baron was answering them. It was just it was just so smooth, and I was agreeing with everything he says. It was like he got the answers, man. I mean, it's like some people, man, they can be so tough, and they can go one-sided. It just seems like you are balanced, man. But I'm gonna ask you something because I want to get a little deeper on you. I'm gonna turn the page a little bit because I like the way you answer your questions. You have children, by the way. Just you have children, man?
Yes, I have one daughter. She's 16 years young, and I could have had more if I didn't get abortions when I was younger and stupid.
Well, me too, brother. But that's another story. But
You did what you had
Yes.
to do.
yeah, we did,
Right.
yeah. But I wanted to ask you this, man, because it still baffles me, and I'm a grown man. But you have a daughter. Not to go, but again, to ask you, you know, what your preference is, but how do you explain to your daughter in this world? Because I see how you explained everything else that Lori and Jackie was asking. How do you explain Donald Trump?
Wow.
How do you explain that? Though everything we all know about him and what he's brought to this world, what he's brought to the United States and the world, how do you explain? I want to hear how you say it, because I'm telling you, so far tonight, you've been explaining stuff real nice, and you made me feel like we got hope. Brother, make me feel like we got hope, brother. Please.
I made you feel like you got who?
Hope.
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 Yeah.
Hope. 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 So the question is. So the question is, how do I explain to my daughter, Farron Jay Littleton, about Donald Trump?
Yeah, about
It's a
and
very
to make her,
no. Go ahead, finish.
you know, to make her realize that, sweetheart, whatever your views might be, you might, you know, go along with his views, or sweetheart, this is not your typical way people see things, and the lies and the rhetoric. You know, I just want to know, how would you talk to her? Because you know, the youth nowadays, the black youth, they really helped us out with this guy.
Yes.
They're out there on the streets, and they're doing a lot more than we ever did. And it's I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that, Baron. And you have a lot to do with the youth out there. I just want to hear how you explain to your daughter this guy's rhetoric, man. I have
You know what?
I had 3 kids myself.
3 kids. What are their ages?
My children are 18, 14, and 12. Well,
Okay,
my
beautiful.
daughter's the oldest. My daughter's 18. My oldest son is 14, and the other one, the little one's 12.
Okay, so how I explain it to my daughter, I really don't have to do that much explaining, because the technology that we have today breaks it down for our youth, for my daughter, because they get to see it on the news. They get to see it on social media. They get to hear people talking about it. They get to read about it. They can Google about it. So they got so much information thrown at them that they have more information than we do. So when we have a discussion, she already has made up her mind based on the information that she's received via social media, via Googling and watching the news, and talking to me and her mother. She came over her own views, and she doesn't like what Donald Trump stands for. So it wasn't a lot of talking that I had to do. It's just like, let me listen to what she has to say. And I'm like, wow, she came to this conclusion on her own based on the information that is poured into her through this social media and news. So it's been very easy, where I don't have to do that much talking about it. It's more of a conversation, where it's like you sitting down talking to someone, and they have the same information that you have, and you can just have a great conversation.
Oh man!
So they actually made it easier. This social media made it easier for us. Whereas if we didn't have social media, then we have to do some talking, some discussions, and things of that nature. But social media has made it much easier for us.
I'm so glad I asked you that question, Baron, because your answer was so powerful, and I'm gonna tell you why. Your answer, what you just see, my daughter, her thing discussion with me is, Dad, you don't allow me to, you don't trust my judgment, or I'm always coming to her, Baron, and trying to pick her brain. But you just said that because of the information and everything, that she would already have it. You trusted that she had the knowledge to have it. See, even though I might think I trust her, I always got to bring the knowledge. You know what I mean?
Right.
And sometimes with children, that gets on that. You know, she really like, Dad, give me a chance. And that's one thing I had to learn. And I just realized that from what you said, that's what she was saying. I don't give her a chance to think it. I bring it to her. You
Right.
know, instead of me having an objective to like, let me see what she has to say about this. No, I'm gonna
Right.
tell her what I think. I'm gonna tell her what I think first, and then, and even it also comes to the conclusion that sometimes when she don't agree with what I'm thinking, then that's a whole nother argument, you know. But you know, that's cool. I knew you. I would get something out of that through you. That's something I can learn from. You know what I mean? Because all day
Yes.
you telling me some. I mean, you have an unbelievable positive approach on everything, man. You have a positive
Thank you.
approach. Yeah, I think that's just education, though. Your education,
Yes.
that's just education, man. You know?
Aaron, I wanted to talk to you about your passion for health and wellness and eating properly and making sure that we put the right and proper things in our body. And as a part of that, where did you or do you stand your opinion on Dr. Sebi and his
Oh,
forgive me.
say-
Yes, sir.
oh, Dr. Sebi is number one in my book, and health and wellness is the fundamental foundation to everything. Um, Without health, you can't prosperous in career, job, or anything. Just think of Africa. Those kids don't even have it's certain parts of Africa, the ones that they portray on the media. Hey, donate $25, $10. Those kids do not have a chance because they don't have any health. That's the fundamental part right there is the health right there. If you don't have health, you can't prosperous or do anything. So just think of Steve Jobs when he had that rare disease. He would have paid anything to be healed. He would have gave all his fortune away, 8 billion and whatever it was that he was worth to be healed. He would have gave it away and say, if I can be alive for another year, I give 8 billion away. He would have done that. So that's how important health is. When you the last time you were sick, you'd be like, wow, I would pay anything to be well. This is unbelievable. So health and wellness is good. So we have to put the proper nutrients in our body so that we can think clearly, so that we can be healthy, so that we can be happy, so that we can function at our optimum level. And what Dr. Sebi has spoken and put out into the universe that is here to stay on social media is information that's going to help millions and millions of people. And those type of things are not taught in the schools. Those are not taught in the universities. Those things you have to get from a person like Dr. Sebi or holistic doctor. I believe I can go on and on about health. Health is I take my vitamins every morning. My vitamins, my minerals. I do my cleanses. I have a holistic doctor. I make sure I move my body every day for at least 30 to 60 minutes, whether that's walking, jump roping, doing push-ups. I love to walk. I love walking. Oh my God, the walking is so therapeutic for me. So everybody can walk. We don't have gyms now, but you can walk. You can move that body. You can get their heart rate up. You can walk, and drink plenty of water. Water. Our bodies are 70% water. The earth is 70% water. A lot of times when you think you're hungry, you're not hungry, you're thirsty. And when you get up in the morning, that's the best time to drink water because you can consume about 20 to 30 ounces because you haven't had any in like 6 to 7 hours.
I love
And
that.
drink it with some,
Go ahead.
yeah, I'm saying also drink your water with some lemon, alkalines the body. It starts the engine, it gets it going.
Yes, I have Tanya Michelle. How are you doing tonight, lovely lady?
I am doing fine. How are you guys
I'm
doing?
doing good, sunshine. Now, just so you I'm sorry, go ahead, Lauren.
I was going to say you arrived just in time.
I
We're
know.
talking about healthcare and
That's
wellness.
what I was going to tell Baron. Go ahead and introduce her and tell Baron who she
Hello,
is.
Tanya.
Tab, how are you? Hey, Rashid.
Hello.
Oh, Mr.
Hello.
Barron.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm on top of the universe.
Right, that's right.
There we go. Baron Tanya is from our show, The Chat. We do a segment every month called The Ladies of the Chat, and there's four of us that have been friends for over 30 years. And so we get together
Yikes.
and we look at contemporary topics and we got to spill the tea. We have all kinds of things that happen here on the chat. But Tanya is also our medical expert here. She's got this big fancy title at Kaiser Permanente. So I'm going to let her share her title with you. But I remember when she was just a good old RN nurse.
Mm.
I'm still a good old RN nurse.
You
I'm
wear
just,
suits every day, every
I'm just at
day.
the bedside, but I'm still a nurse, always a nurse. Always a nurse. So I came in when you guys were talking about Dr. Sebi, and I could just see Jackie's eyes.
Say
just
different.
switching.
You know, you already know.
Jackie, I don't know, Jackie and I were the ones on the scene 30 years ago trying to be little Dr. Sebi's, right? We were doing all this senna and cascara sagrada and chlorophyll and trying to be all healthy and stuff, huh? Right? 30 years ago. And I think we're back on track, right, Jack and Lori?
We are on track, back on track. And the funny thing about it, Baron, is that and Tanya and I hadn't collaborated about it this time. And back in the day, we were doing it together. Like, all right, you're taking this, and I'll pick up that, and we're going to all these holistic shops, and it was all over the place. And then one night after the show, we went by Tanya. She lives close to the studio, and so she started going in for her little midnight cap, her little wellness evening check, and then she started pulling out all. I'm like, you take that too? What? You drinking that too? What? You gotta have your beet juice every day? Oh my God, are you doing this? And just citrus. Come to find out we were doing all these things together. And so for the last 2 weeks, we've just been indulging ourselves in iris sea moss and all of these little home remedies to add to it. You know what I mean? And just sharing that health and wellness because we gotta remain healthy. And my sissy hugged me last week and she goes, oh my God,
Like
your
velvet. Her skin is
feels
so soft.
smooth. I'm like, it's the sea moss. You gotta get on the sea moss.
Mm.
Yes.
But yeah, good times.
Baron, what are your thoughts? And Tanya, you may want to weigh in on this as well. Oftentimes, it's hard to get the best produce or the best, foods or things for wellness into inner city communities, and to get those underserved communities more aware about health, wellness, and fitness. What advice would you give for that struggling family that's trying to make their ends meet and they need to put together a healthier plan for their family?
Is that for Barry?
Yeah, I think
Is
Baron.
that a question for me?
Yeah, I know.
I
Like,
thought that was for the nurse. So the question was, what can a family do in the inner city who doesn't have access to healthy foods do to eat healthy? Can you repeat the question? Is that kind of like the
I
question?
think that's pretty close. I think oftentimes, at least we grew up in the city of Compton. Oftentimes we go to markets and, our produce looks a little sad or there's nothing there on those shelves. And the things that aren't as good for us are the meats that are on sale, but the ones that are probably a little better for us aren't. So how do we, as a community, begin to become more aware, become more literate, and empower ourselves to make better choices of the things we have?
Well, as a community, how we can become more aware of eating more healthy is, okay, let's say that everybody around you is eating unhealthy. So it's going to be a challenge. So it may be one person in the group that may see a commercial or maybe someone outside of the community that's eating healthy. It's going to take that one person to be influenced or to get some information that the other people are not getting so that they can go back to their group and explain to them, hey, this is what we're doing wrong. This is what we need to do so that we can eat healthy. So the people and us in the community always have to be asking questions, reading, wanting better, And when you have that intention, the answers will come to you. So I know for me, uh, my mother didn't always cook healthy. She cooked a lot of fried chicken and French fries and pork chops and things of that nature and chicken in a can and stuff like that. So my father, which didn't stay with us, he said, okay, Baron, you need to be taking your vitamins. You need to be supplementing because you're not getting the proper nutrition probably from all the different foods. So it's going to always have to be someone on the outside or someone in that group need to be influenced by some type of media or read an article, or when they go to school someone says something about that, then they have to go back and take it. So it's kind of like each one teach one, reach one. Once you learn something that's different, you have to go back to your village and teach them and tell them. So it all comes down to us. And if you don't have it in the community, uh, you probably need to go out of your community to purchase it, or you need to tell your grocer, if enough people start complaining that we want vegetables in our grocery store, then they're going to do it. And also, if you stop buying the meat and the unhealthy food and it goes spoiled, and you ask them for it, you want something different, then you're going to have to change, because if not, they're going to go out of business. An example that I would give is that when you go into a store and they say, I want you to wear your mask. Okay. There's no law in the there's no law signed by the state senators that you have to wear masks. It's just that people say you have to wear a mask. But if you go into a store, you really don't have to wear a mask if you don't want to. But the person that owns that store has the right to say you need to wear a mask or you leave, or they be like, I want your money so you don't have to wear a mask and take your money. But the power comes right here. If everybody get together, say in a certain community, say we're not wearing our mask, and we're going to go in the store and eat, that store is not going to stay around long if they turn everybody away. They say they're not going to wear their mask. They're going to go out of business. So therefore, they're going to have to start allowing people not to wear their mask to come into the store to patronize them, because they've turned everybody away. People say, I don't want to wear their mask. Everybody says that, then they have no customers and they go out of business. So the same thing comes with produce and the things that we need to eat. If we don't shop there, we say we're not shopping at a particular store till you get some vegetables and some good food, then they're going to go out of business or they're going to get that food. So it all comes down to the numbers, just like this election. It comes down to the numbers, it comes down to the people. So it's up to us as a village to work together. It's not going to be one leader who's in office that's going to make the change for us. It's going to be us as a group of people that's going to make the change. Okay, when Biden is in office or Trump is in office, it's going to be people still uh, uh, making the same income, doing the same thing, but it's as collective people, it's going to have to make the change. Not that one person that's in office. He can only do so much. It's going to be the people coming together at the grassroots level to make the change, for the people at the top to make the change.
Wow, I was going to ask you a little bit
But you
about
know
that.
what?
What is your? Go ahead, Tanya.
I also think that it's a mindset, right? I think that it's a mindset, and it's very, very difficult, and it's very, very expensive to eat healthy all the time. And so when you're looking at people with certain social economic status, because to me, Baron, it was as easy as what you said, hospitals would be closed, right? Because there's a lot of publicity about eating healthy. There's a lot of, but the world is busy. Sometimes you can't cook. Sometimes in your
Mm-hmm.
community, the food choices you have to pick are not healthy. Life is busy, busy, busy. And so I think, you know, parents and mothers especially are trying to just get their child going. And so if it's easy for me to fry some fish and potato salad or whatever I'm eating, that's fine. That's how I was just raised. So to me, it's the mindset too, because um it's very difficult not to want good food, not to want food that tastes good. Like, I try to eat healthy, but I have some weaknesses,
Yes.
I'm a nurse and I know, what how it all adds up, but it's the mindset. So I'm pretty the healthiest one in my house. I try to cook the best, but my husband, he's going to eat what I cooked all my life. That's what he wants, because it's just the mindset, and that's good. And he doesn't want to eat certain things. So I think it's a combination of everything. Then when you go into the lower economic communities, they don't have healthy choices around them. They don't have healthy, I think, Superior, they said is in the communities. They have good produce, but then, if you do too much of that, that's too expensive. And if you're trying to feed two, three, four kids,
Right.
you do. So I think that it's higher than a community issue. I think that it's a government issue that, that is strategically placed like that,
Yes,
because
it is.
don't get a whole, like, I live in Inglewood, and I don't have a Whole Foods in Inglewood. I don't have a Sprouts in Inglewood. I don't have some of those stores the Trader Joe's in Inglewood. And Inglewood
Hmm.
has, some medium salaries, and we don't have it here because the majority we got a Wiener Schnitzel and a Burger King and a Carl's Jr. In and out. I mean, I can name
Right.
everything that we have, but
Exactly.
we don't have the healthy stuff. So if transportation becomes your issue, you're going to go to the closest store. You know what I mean? It's just the way it's
Yep.
built too. Makes it very difficult for people to eat healthy.
It's
Well, I
very
was
structural.
inspired by Baron in your response, which was interesting, and maybe the panel can flesh out more. Is that you say we have to speak up for what we want, right? We have to band together and demand this and not buy that, right? I think that can definitely make a difference in a neighborhood market. What do you guys think?
I concur.
I want to ask you a question, Baron. What's up with your farmland down in Covington,
That's
Georgia?
right, in
That's where
Covington,
I was going with
Georgia.
all of this. How'd that
Yes.
project and how you got onto that? How did that come in your direction, or did you seek for it?
Um, it's been in my vision, and I was speaking to my friend Bright. I said, "Hey, I want to own some farmland because I want to be able to plant a garden. Have a little farm, have some cows and some sheep, and have a small house, live off the grid, live off solar, and have a well." He said, "Oh, I have a friend in Georgia. You can purchase 300. I mean, I think it was, I don't know, some 50 acres of land or something for $300,000." And then I spoke to him over the phone. He said, "Hey, you don't need to be purchasing any land right now." He said, "I have land. I have 50,000 acres. He's not 50,000, 50 acres of land, 50 acres of land." And so I went down there and met with him. And so we did a partnership. And now I have access to 20 acres of land. And on the land, we have some farmers, we have some cows, some chicken, and some sheep. And so now we just purchased some equipment to be able to level to level another 20 acres of land so that we can put a gate around it and so that we can buy sheep and start planting food and be able to sell it to the community and give it away to the community as well, to the
Beautiful.
local community in Georgia.
That's amazing to be
Because
able to grow your
food
own.
is,
You know what I mean? That
yeah,
is.
yeah, because check this out. And because I got good credit, I was able to get the machinery 60 months, no interest
Wow.
Oh
for
my
the
That's
God.
great.
to be able to level all those trees. And now we will be able to lease out that equipment to other people in the community that needs their trees level or things like that, and have the equipment pay for itself after 6 months.
I
Okay.
think in our interview, you also talked about having a senior facility on this property.
Yes, also a senior facility to be able to take care of our elderly because we all will be there one day. Yes, absolutely, an elder facility. And you can, with an elder facility, adult residential facility, the state of Georgia and all states have where you can get funded from the state to be able to take care of them.
So it's a long-term plan to build a bit of a community, like other individuals who want to live this more simplistic life.
Yes, with tiny
No.
homes.
The tiny homes, minimalist.
Yes. Yeah, minimum is living in, there's not, you can take what do they call it? The storage facilities, the storage
Uh,
containers. You can turn those into tiny homes, into like 1,500 square feet homes, very nice, and put them on our property, and just have that minimalistic life. You have your water, your solar, you can grow your garden, and your house is paid off because it doesn't cost that much to have one of those built, less than 100,000. So have that minimalistic life.
It is.
I know. It sounds simple. I want
So
to
you
get
can
back
still
to
have that
basics.
lifestyle, and also you can have your chaotic lifestyle in the city as well. So you can have both if you
Baron, what's going on with that Verizon check behind you? You want to
Yes,
tell us,
this
tell us
happened.
that story?
Yes, so this happened through a partnership with uh, GRX Immersive Labs, which is co-founded by Alton Glass. He's a filmmaker turned into a virtual reality expert, and Verizon gave us donated a grant to us for $600,000 to build a virtual reality music app for middle school students for their Verizon Innovation Lab schools. So it's just been completed, and they should be rolling it out like in the next month or so. And Verizon seems very pleased with it. So hopefully they'll be writing another check for us to do something else using technology, using 5G this year.
You're going to be doing the
That's
Farm
great.
G technology that you said as well, down on the Covington property, correct? Down in
Yes,
Georgia?
I'm putting together a proposal now so that we can get a check from Verizon or any of these tech companies to be able to utilize 5G to do vertical farming on the farm in Covington, Georgia, and aquaponics.
Wow, it's just amazing. That's all I can keep saying. It's amazing. Baron J Foundation, Baron J. There's so much to know about you. So much.
Yes.
I know, right?
Now, I was really taken aback or really excited about you have this passion for inventing, right? And knowing about
I do.
inventors. And there's a little, it's called your Little Black Book
Mm.
Project.
Yes,
Yes. Could you
the
tell us
little
a little bit about that?
yes, a little bit about the Little Black Book Project. I published my first book back in 2000. I don't know, can't remember now. Six. It was a book on Black inventors that listed different inventions of African Americans, what they invented. And what intrigued me about Black inventors happened when I was in the third grade at Meyer Elementary School in Detroit, Michigan. My teacher, Miss Frazee, who was a bodybuilder, and she was a Caucasian woman. Maybe she was Caucasian and Hispanic. I don't know. I didn't know ethnicities at that age. Um, during Black History Month, she had us go up in front of the class, and we had to talk about two Black inventors. And my two Black inventors was George Washington Carver and Garrett Morgan. And Garrett Morgan was particularly interesting to me because he invented the traffic light and the gas mask. And at that age, I felt real good that a Black man invented a traffic light. I'm like, wow, everybody in the world uses traffic light. And I didn't know that. A Black man invented it. I asked my mother, she didn't even know. My uncles, they didn't know. So I'm teaching them something that I learned in school. And when we went to the fire station as a field trip, they never said a Black man invented the gas mask. His picture should have been up there, and they should have been talking about him. So those are the type of things that are empower us as a youth when we see those type of role models and those type of things that people that look like us that empower you. So what made me feel so good is because I was a safety patrol captain. A safety patrol captain, or in the safety patrol, is a person that wears those orange bands, belts, and you help kids cross the street. They don't have that anymore. Right now, adults are safe. Right now, adults do it. So we used to help kids cross the street, being a safety patrol on the safety patrol team. And I felt great because I'm helping kids cross the street safely every day. And a Black man invented the traffic light that looks like me. So ever since then, I had a fascination about the great things that African Americans have done. So when I got older, I said, you know what? I want to put together a book. I like my book small, pocket size, that I can share about the different inventions that African Americans have done. So I did the research. I put together a book. My books are usually small in size. They're usually like 4x6, 160 pages that list the different contributions of African Americans. And I put that book together. My whole intent was, you know what? I can sell this book to the churches. There's a lot of Black churches. I can sell 150 books to the church, and I can sell all these books. That didn't end up working out. That didn't happen. What happened was it ended up, yeah, I can't get anybody to buy no books from the church, from the different churches. I was younger then. I'm still young, but it didn't work out for me that successfully. So what happened was when I went to career day, schools started purchasing the books, like teachers and principals. It started doing very well at the schools, and and I would get vendor booths and sell my books there. Then I meet different teachers and people like that. They had me come to the school and speak, and they would buy books. So it's something how you start off with where you think it's going to happen, then it happened another way. So I think that whenever you have something that you enjoy, other people enjoy it too. You share with the world. So I like my stuff in small packages, something a ton of information in a small book. It's like a dynamite. Dynamite is small, but it's explosive.
Yes. So is this book, can we get our hands on it? Can we get a copy of this? Where do we go?
Yeah, you can.
Tell our
You can
listeners.
get a copy of the book at the Heritage Club.
The Heritage Club.
HeritageClub.net. HeritageClub.net. Heritage Club. HERITAGE Club. CLUB.net.
HeritageClub.net.
That's where you can purchase. That's where you can purchase the books. We have Blacks in Sports, Science, Entertainment, Business, First, and History.
Okay, that's awesome. TheHeritageClub.net, and we put that on Facebook, and we're gonna put that over here on YouTube.
And also put on your Facebook, sow a seed with BaronJ.com. Sow a seed with BaronJ.com.
For sure.
And you can see how I utilize, because Kanye West looked like me. All right.
I know we're
gonna
get. Yeah, let's do it.
Tell us that story.
Okay.
Yeah. When was the first time you heard that?
It's when I heard it. It was the year when Kanye West got into a car accident and we got his mouth wired. It was during that year. I'm not sure. It's like when Jesus Walk came out. I didn't know who he was. Someone told me people kept telling me, you look like Kanye West. You look like Kanye West. I'm like, who is that? Then I looked him up, and I was like, okay. Then Jesus Walk came out. Then that's when I figured out who he was.
Okay.
Then people started hiring me as a lookalike.
Wow.
And to come to different events, birthday parties, to do meet and greets and do photo shoots of me and mock photo shoots. And so that's been very fruitful to earn a second stream income for people who are. I went to London for the first time because I look like Kanye West. They flew me out to London to do photo shoots of me.
Wow.
Okay, so that was back on February 10th.
Never said you look like Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade.
They
What was
never
that
said,
picture?
they never said you look like Dwayne Wade, Baron.
No, I never got that. I never got Dwayne Wade. I never got that I look like Dwayne Wade.
I didn't see Kanye West when I saw you today. I saw Dwayne Wade. You played
Dwayne
ball?
Wade.
You played?
Yeah, I played in high school. Then I played recreational.
Yeah. You was a Spartan. You know, you got to be kind of good to play there. You know.
Yeah.
When
I
did
didn't play for.
Who was
I didn't
there?
play basketball. Who was there? Who was there when I was there? Is Mo Peterson and Mateen Cleaves.
Yes, Mo Peterson, my man, the guy I grew up with was his agent. Yeah, I know Mo Peterson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, we're gonna do some side by sides.
Are you a frat?
No, I'm not. I'm not in any frats. They approached me. Many of them approached me. I turned them down.
Oh, okay.
Can you tell us why, Ben? It's just look at here.
How was I thinking at that time? I didn't. I was more of a. It just wasn't me. I was just more of a. I hung out with them, but I didn't want to go through the initiation or whatever it is I had to go through to be a part of it. I said, no, it just wasn't me.
Okay,
You
we
see
got a
they got
side by
Dwayne-
side. Go ahead,
Rashid
Tap.
had Rashid had Dwayne Wade's picture up there. It did look like him a little bit, right, Rashid? Look at that.
Wow, that's crazy.
Check that out. Look, that's funny. Thanks, Rashid.
Kanye West.
Not a problem. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna look at you against Kanye West.
Let's
Baron.
do it. All right. Okay.
Okay.
I totally get
I
it.
can totally see that.
Yeah. I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, my
Hey.
Rashid mouth ain't like that though, man. Get out of here. Nah,
Wait, me?
that dude got. Nah, he looked like a chipmunk on that joint.
You got so silly. Hey,
He
got you.
he looked more like Dwayne Wade to me.
I could see Kanye West. I can see Kanye West.
Well, so did the world because Baron
Yeah.
worked that night.
So Baron, how did Sow the Seed get how did your affiliation with being the Kanye West lookalike create or contribute to Sow the Seed with Baron J?
It happened because, I get paid to do different types of gigs as a Kanye West. It kind of like messed me up in like a Kanye West lookalike because I'm me, but I'm older than him, so it's kind of like weird. But as a Kanye West lookalike, I have an agency that hired me. The people go to, they look for like different lookalikes to do different events, like birthday parties and weddings. You like come up and it was one. I'll tell you one gig I did. It was one gig I did. The guy was a Kanye West fanatic, so his wife wanted a Kanye West lookalike to come and surprise him at the party. So I did a couple of songs. I lip synced them, and he was blown away. He was so excited and happy, and I got paid to do that, to make somebody's dream come true, to feel good. And then when I'm there, I'm able to spread the message of the Baron J Foundation and able to get donations and for people to support.
That's brilliant. Genius. What do you think about the word hustler?
Yeah. Some people call me a hustler.
I had a guest. I was asking. I had a guest last week, and they didn't want us to use the word hustler, but what they were doing sounded like hustling, but didn't like the word hustler. Right. Hey, you gotta get it.
Let's look up first of all, let's look up the definition of hustler.
You ready? Let's do it.
Definition.
Rashid,
definition of hustler.
A lot of times we use words, but we never looked up the definition, and we use them.
They try to do my research. Uh-oh.
Okay. Hustler, an aggressively enterprising person, a go-getter.
Yes.
Hustler.
Yeah,
an aggressively enterprising person, a go-getter.
Yeah. It's a go-getter.
I don't know why she didn't. They didn't want to use the word. Remember that?
They did not.
Because everybody,
because there's a negative connotation with being
as a pimp kind of thing.
Yeah, as being
like a hustler, drug dealer type of thing. Yeah,
right.
Oh.
But no, that definition they just gave is most definitely Baron.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
I am.
Baron, there's one other. It's a little bit of a rewind, but remember, my brain works disjointedly, so that's why we're going back in time.
Oh, there's another definition for it.
I think this is important though. In your pre-interview, you talked about being a walk-on in football, right?
Yes.
And that you sustained an injury, and then you had to think about how to reinvent yourself. And I think that's important to hear that story, because oftentimes many of us...
Why you do the eyes?
I know, the eyes. Many of us need to reinvent ourselves, and that's a scary process. I mean, how did you know you needed to reinvent yourself, and how did you go about doing that?
Well, I was a walk-on football player for Nick Saban at Michigan State University, and I don't think I reinvented myself. Is that I'm always doing multiple things. So when I was playing football, I was an Evans Scholar. I was a radio DJ at my campus at Michigan State. I was still caddying. I was still a bad boy. So I was still doing multiple things. So when football was over, I had these other things going. So it's like I never reinvented myself. It's just that I think that in life, especially for me, my personality, is that you should be doing multiple things like that interest you. For example, like LeBron James, he not only played basketball, he's producing movies, documentaries. He has a nonprofit. He's investing in different businesses. So he's not reinventing himself. So if he get injured from basketball or he retired, he still has those other things going on. But it seems like he reinvented himself, but he didn't. He's just a multifaceted person, just like our creator, which is God. And we all are multifaceted.
So once we know our talents, I think it's we are destined to share it with the world. The things that we know we're good at. What is your opinion on sharing your gifts, Baron?
Yes, I think it's important to share your gifts to the world because that's the reason why the creator, God, whoever you call him or her, gives them to you. And if you don't use your gifts, they will be taken away. And you'll be crying and wondering why, because you didn't discover them. You didn't try to. And then when you found out, you didn't use them. Or sometimes you didn't use them properly. So sometimes you can have a gift and you can use it wrong. You can use it to hurt people. It's just like money. You can have money, you can use it for good, you can use it for bad. And you can use those gifts for good or for bad. Just like a pimp. He can use his gifts. He got gifts. He's persuasion, different things. He can use that for good or bad. He can use it to go find women with low self-esteem that are young, who are runaways and things of that nature, and using his gift to make them feel good or do certain things, and which is using it wrong. So you have to use your gift right.
I'm going to use my gifts right. I love it being here, and I thank you guys for being here on Yikes Radio. I love it so much. Thank you, Baron, for coming with us. Are you having a good time with us tonight here on the POJ show?
Yes, I am.
A caller who joined us. Who's on the phone? Who's joined us here on the Zoom panel? Are you there, caller?
Chris.
Oh, it's Chris. It's our friend Chris.
Hello, Miss Chris.
Yes, hi. I was driving. I'm just in the Riverside, so I said, let me get on. I still got another hour to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome.
We have Baron Jay Littleton with us tonight, Chris, of the Baron J Foundation. Yes. So you want to say hello?
Were you a safety or a cornerback or which one?
I started off as a receiver, but I could not catch the ball, so they moved me to defensive back.
Oh, okay. So, but that's always. I mean, that's normal. I mean, most of the time, when you don't make it, that's anybody. When you don't make it as a receiver, they try your skills at cornerback, or defensive back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But when the ball was when the ball was for someone else, it was less pressure. I can catch it. I can deflect it.
Right.
Baron, I have a couple of questions. We've grilled you, right?
I know.
And talked all about your entrepreneurism and your wonderful journey and all of the contributions you're making. But I'm interested now in who is Baron, the man, the person? Who are you?
The guy
outside,
in the club.
The guy outside of the foundation.
Yeah. When somebody want to roll up on the side, where do they go to roll up on you at? You know what I mean?
Oh. Who is Baron J, the person, the man? I think
we got through all of the fancy stuff. It's tea time now, Baron. It's time for the
time for you to kind of unbuckle your collar and relax a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. In the cut.
Yeah.
Baron
J. Baron J is Baron J Littleton Jr. He's the same person. He's outrageous, funny. He thinks differently. He thinks outside the box. His thoughts are random. When you meet him, you can never forget him.
Hey, Baron.
Yes.
Date. Month and day.
The month and day of what?
Date. Your birth date.
Oh, my birthday is next month, December 3rd.
YikesRadio.com. That explains it. I'm a
Sagittarius. Have you dated one?
So is the poetess. She's a Sagittarius.
So is Jackie.
Well,
she's happy about that.
She's happy about it.
I'm just 4 days after you. Now we must have a celebration. I knew That's
Yes.
why I had to ask when is his birthday. I already knew something.
You used an adjective that sparked my piqued my interest. You said that Baron J. Littleton is outrageous. What is the most
Mhm.
outrageous thing you have done, Mr. Littleton?
Yeah.
The
They
most
turning up the
outrageous.
heat now, brother. The heat.
Yes.
I was
The most outrageous thing I have done. Man, what's outrageous? Okay. I've done many things that are outrageous.
Okay,
I
let's hear
give us two or three.
give us your top two.
Yeah, time to.
let me say, I can say one that I did. It was illegal. Legal. It was illegal when I was in college. It was remember what was it? I had got a on college campuses. Students would sign up for different credit cards. You guys, I don't know if you guys remember that. They give you like a balloon, a bottle for signing up for a credit card. Do you guys remember that in college? They get students to sign up for credit cards in college.
You got
Yeah.
a caller, Baron.
Excuse me.
We have a caller, but we want to let Baron do his
Okay.
story.
No,
Yeah,
no.
we're gonna-
What you want to
What
do?
do you guys prefer?
We'll take the caller.
Okay, we'll take your caller, and then we'll come back to your story.
Okay. All
Hello,
right.
caller, are you there?
Hi, how you doing?
Hello. How you doing tonight,
Hello.
Mr. Robin Wartell? How you doing tonight, Robin?
What's going on, sister? How are you?
I'm doing great, Baron. Excuse me, you're on with Baron J. I have Baron J from the Baron J Foundation, Baron J Littleton on the show tonight. Are you watching us on Facebook too, Robin, or did you just kind of catch us
I
here?
absolutely am. Watching through the Zoom.
Why, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Mr. Baron J of the Baron J Foundation was giving us a little bit of,
How are you, brother?
of a backstory on what he's got going on. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself, Robin, real quick, and then we'll go ahead and have Baron talk to us a little more.
Oh, I'm a master, jack of all trades, master. I work with the entertainment industry. I work with the different artists in terms of promotion, marketing, and just signed a network deal
Okay.
with
Congratulations.
BJ Jr. I'm sorry.
Congratulations.
Bless your heart. Thank you, brother. What's going on with you guys, man? Looks like a very distinguished panel up here.
We have a great panel. But if you just want to hold on and ride with us for a little bit, you can do that.
Absolutely.
Robin. Yeah, because
I think I love that.
okay.
I just like to sit back and watch this.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
If you don't mind, Baron, do you mind getting back a little bit to our story?
Yes, I would love to see a picture or image of you. I don't see you at all. I hear your voice, but do you show yourself?
Me?
The caller?
No.
You can't see Jack?
I can barely hear you all.
Okay, I'm sorry, Baron.
No.
You guys, please pardon my. I just woke up and I came. I remember I was supposed to watch the show. So
Okay. Well, thank you for joining in with us, Robin. We appreciate it.
appreciate you guys.
Okay, take care.
Talk to you soon, Robin.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
So, Baron, I'm waiting on outrageous. Come on. What's the most
Okay, outrageous.
Top two.
I've done
One
many
legal,
outrageous-
one illegal.
Okay. One thing is that in college, we got somebody's information, and we got a credit card in their name, and it came to the house, and we used it.
Wow.
Another thing that I did is that in college, we would eat food, and then we'll walk out and not pay.
Dine and dash,
And we
dine
had-
and dash, dine and dash.
You never said you
No,
were
we-
a dine and dasher.
Yes, we had the money, but it was something about doing it, getting away with it.
Kid stuff. That's the thing. You be like, damn, I got away with it. The high. You be like, I wouldn't know anything about that. I've heard about it. I've read.
You've read about
I've read about it.
Read
Yeah, I've
about
read
it.
about it.
Yeah.
All right. So, Tap, what most outrageous thing?
Excuse me?
Most
Wait a
outrageous.
minute, I'm not finished.
Oh, you're not done.
Finished.
Okay.
Oh.
There we go.
I had to use the bathroom real bad. I was at someone's house. I had to use the bathroom real bad, and I had to pee in the bathroom.
Oh no, you blew it
And
up.
Hey, no. They were in the bathroom, and I had to use the bathroom. I had to pee real bad, so I got a cup. I added some water in there and some dish detergent, and I peed in the cup. And then poured it out.
With the detergent.
What's up with the detergent?
I have questions
So
about that.
Diluted.
Baron, wow.
Yeah,
You are really giving
I
us
did a
the
lot of
tea here.
outrageous things.
Definitely.
yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
God. I can't top
you.
pee on the side of the road before.
Yeah, I've peed on the side of the road.
Yeah. Lori has pulled over
Yeah.
on the 5 freeway. And I'm like, I gotta go, sissy. I gotta go. It's sad, but you do what you have to do. I didn't have any detergent.
I have another one.
Well, I can't wait to hear them. You got to see if you can top the detergent.
I mean, so it's like another one is that I thought I had to pass gas, and I let out a wet one.
Oh gosh.
Oh no, not the brown stain. Oh no.
Okay, come on, Barry.
Not Skid Row. Not Skid Row.
I was in the public bathroom to take off my underwear and throw them in the trash, and then I didn't have any underwear on for the day until I got home.
Oh, not Skid Row.
But that's not outrageous though.
That's the norm.
Tab, what do you mean that's not outrageous?
He went home without underwear for the rest of the day.
Tab,
Come on, man.
Tab, you trying to tell us something we don't know?
When if you guys may not know because you don't have diabetes and look, when you got diabetes at 58 years old, those things happen kind of sometimes. You know what I mean? Those things happen. But anyway,
will not.
I don't
Girl,
know.
tap.
I'm 58 years old.
Baron,
Listen.
do you see what you have started here?
I
at
would
the
have to
POJ
ask some
show?
family members if this is true.
Baron,
Say it
Baron,
ain't
but
so.
you know what? Baron, keep it real. I mean, it ain't no shame. That's what I like about him. Ain't no shame in this game. It's funny, and guess what? It just lifted the spirits of the whole cast here. You know, everybody's having a good time.
Tap. Your situation seems a little bit different than Baron's.
No, listen.
Yours seem like his was outrageous times 1. Yours seem a little frequent, so we want to, we don't want to compare the shit, okay?
Oh, bad choice of words.
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh my God.
Bad choice of words.
There was one. There was
Hey, you
one.
guys, Tap got happy. He thought it was actually somebody else like him in the world, but I'm telling you, that's a solo show, Tap.
I think Baron has another one for us. Okay, Baron, what you got?
There was one outrageous thing that I wanted to do last month, but I wasn't able to do it. But I said I have to put this on my list to do. I went to go look at a house out in Santa Clarita, California. They had like those model homes. And I went inside, since it was COVID, it's like you got to lock the door and you can't let nobody else in. And I said, this would be a good place to come in and have sex in this house and then leave.
Look,
I thought I'd be.
her raise her
Yeah,
hand.
that's actually pretty regular.
Wow. Look what you've done, Baron. Pretty regular.
That's pretty regular.
Pretty regular.
You
So you know that
bang, 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 bang,
just
bang.
in the
The way I heard you're supposed to do it.
There's a
When there's
pathway.
What I heard you're supposed to do when there's 6 model homes, you till a little bit in each house and you build up until you get to the last house. And then that's what I was told.
I read that in Cosmo.
Okay, so you do
So Baron,
a little bit something in each house.
You got to go back to Santa Clarita and you got to start in model home number 1 and work your way through. And model home number 4 is where you get the big bang.
Yeah.
Just don't make a mess.
Oh Lord.
They have toilet paper in the bathrooms, I hear.
Yeah.
This is outrageous here. So Baron, I guess you are outrageous. We agree. We've taken
Yes.
a poll and you win. Now,
Yes,
you
I
know,
am.
since we're talking about the model homes and the explosions in Model 4, who was the romantic Baron Littleton? Who was that guy? Talk to me about him. Give us a little mood music there, Rashid.
Oh, who is the romantic? Repeat that.
The romantic Baron
Side of Baron.
Jay Littleton. Who is
The-
that guy?
Oh, the
Are you a romantic?
What's your love language?
I am.
There you go, Tanya. You're all
My
about
love
love
language-
languages.
Oh, my love. So you must read the book on love languages. The 5 love languages.
What's your love language? You know, back in the day, be like, what's your song?
My love language is
Cha-ching.
is touching, touching,
Okay.
and quality time.
Touching and quality
touch
time.
And quality time.
Tanya, that's a good one for the show. We're going to bring
That's
you
a
back
good
to
one.
the show.
You know, Tanya is our love language expert. She makes all of us here at POJ Show read and know our love languages.
Mine's change day to day.
Mhm.
But can you have different love languages with different lovers?
I don't know.
If you
Baron,
will?
with different lovers, does your language change?
No, it stays the same. I think.
that's
Wait a
fair.
minute.
And you get that one wow one, that one woo.
Make
Yeah,
your head
her.
blow up.
Right. Yeah.
He's pondering
Look,
it.
yeah. Different love.
I think
I think that whoever you're dating may bring out a different love language, but you do have your primary.
Okay, I can deal with that.
Yeah.
What do you think, Lilo?
I agree. I think you always have your primary.
Big Tap,
Yes.
what's your love language? He's done checked out. Big Tap done checked out.
Big Taps is
Baron, you see what I got to deal with on Saturday night?
I tell
Baron,
you.
what's next for you, Baron J?
Yes. Who knows?
I know,
Tell
right?
you.
What's next for me? I have 2 things. That's what's next for me. Actually 3. Number 1, I will be launching the BC app next month. It's an app where college students can find out where they can eat for free or get discounts on their birthday.
Tell us more about that app. We talked about that briefly. It's really cool.
Yeah. Yes. It's basically I just put together a conglomerate of restaurants that already offer birthday specials and discounts for their customers on their birthday. And then I'm going to take it a step further to get restaurants who are not part of that network to do the same thing. Because I believe that birthdays are very special. And everybody's birthday is every week. And I will explain that momentarily. So restaurants can bring traffic into their restaurants if you can offer a birthday special or a discount on someone's birthday, because that person not won't only come, but bring other people. And then it's also a way for brand recognition and to get rid of surplus food before it spoils. You might have too much beef. You're like, oh man, I got to get rid of this beef in 2 weeks. Well, now you can do a birthday special. If your birthday, you get burgers half off. So it's a great way to promote. And secondly, I would like to get restaurants to think of birthdays as a celebration every week. Because when you think of birthday, your birthday is every week. I was born on a Friday. My birthday was yesterday. So my birthday is every week, every Friday. So the day that you was born on is your birthday. And your birth date is when you were born, December 3rd, 1976. So I like to celebrate my birthday every Friday.
Nice.
And you guys should celebrate your
very
birthday
nice.
every week.
Every week.
What does that celebration entail? Would you say? What do you think?
The celebration can be as simple as you going out to Jamba Juice to get something. You just make an intention. This is my birthday. I'm going out to Jamba Juice to celebrate with a friend or by myself. You just have that intention in your head that is, you acknowledge that is your birthday. So it can be big or small, but that's pertaining to the person's birthday, based on the person.
What's going on? Do you know your birthday?
I don't know. I don't know what day I was born.
You know the date, though.
Sometimes.
Right, sometimes.
Sometimes I know.
That's it.
Sometimes I do. You know.
You're right.
As you
And the
climb,
app
as you
is-
climb that stairway, sometimes.
And the app is bceive.com, bceive.com.
BC.
That's the bceive.com. BC.
That's the app. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Got it. I love that.
I love that. That's great. Great. You're so amazing,
Yes,
Baron.
it is.
Just
Very
amazing.
talented again.
Baron,
Absolute gift.
we're nearing the end of our interview. I can't believe how fast our time has gone together. But during our pre-interview call, you talked about 3 legacy questions. Do you remember that?
I don't remember.
You don't. Okay.
No.
So there were 3. I think you asked him, Jackie,
Mhm.
what did you want the listeners to know? What did he want the listeners to know? Right.
Oh.
And there were 3 things that you wanted to make sure the listeners knew. Right. Is that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You want me to do it or you going to do it?
Oh, you can do it.
No. Okay, go ahead, Fifi. No, do it.
One was that you were mentor to 1,900 underserved students.
Mhm.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. How does it feel to be a mentor to 1,900 students?
I feel like I'm using my gifts effectively, through giving and through leadership, and I'm mentoring them directly and indirectly through my actions and also through the actions through the people that work with me. So it feels like I'm living in my purpose.
What advice do you have for people who need to find a mentor, as well as individuals who want to become mentors?
Advice that I have for people who want to become mentors is, number one, go to baronjfoundation.com and sign up to be a mentor. I can help you in that area. Secondly, if you want to be a mentor, just find someone that's within your ecosystem and community to reach back and give a helping, to give a hand up, and have them have access to you, whether that's through whatever you prefer, whether that's through text, email, phone call, or face to face. So just look in the mirror, and you can and you can find that person within your community, within your ecosystem. You can find them. You probably know someone directly or indirectly. You can find that person. For people, and the other question was for people who want to be mentees. Was that the question?
Yes. How does a mentee find a mentor?
A mentee finds a mentor by being aggressive and asking questions and not having any fear. So when you see someone in the physical sense, go up to them and ask them questions. Ask them for their advice. And someone can mentor you directly or indirectly, because you can read about their story. You can go to their website. You can learn about them. There's ways to be mentored by people indirectly as well. You don't always have to have a physical contact with that person to be mentored.
I think that's awesome. What was you going to say, Sissy?
I know,
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Of course not. I'm sorry. I was going to say something else to you, Baron. You talked about creating, and that a person can pretty much do anything that they set their mind to. And then we also talked about the bow tie and the tie together.
Yes.
Can you talk about that and let our listeners know the rationale between the bow
Yes.
tie and you're
Oh,
gonna
let me see
show
if I
us?
have that with me.
All right.
Yeah, I created.
Yes.
This is the bow tie.
Love it.
Bow and tie.
Bow
That's
tie.
Connect together. When you have it, you wear like that.
Yes.
Cool.
Gets a lot of attention, I bet.
It gets a lot of attention. And how that came about is when I went to the Grammys as a seat filler, maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago. I can decide whether I want to wear a bow tie or a tie. I said, dog, I can't understand. So I just wore both of them,
Mhm.
and it was a hit the whole night. People were like, wow, it was a way. It was a way to start conversations with people because people come up to you and say, hey, you got on two ties, a bow tie and a tie. Well, I like that. That's unique. That's different. So ever since then, I liked it. It was unique, and I just continue to wear it. So I got a patent pending on this, and I'm going to be launching this in January. It's going to come in a box. It's going to come like this with a handkerchief and a pair of socks. And I'm going to sell it online.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I know that when I went to Holly Robinson Peete fundraiser 2 years ago, one of the actors from Entourage, she's like, man, I love that. Him and his wife is sitting at my table, and it's like, I love that bow tie and tie. He said, man, when you get that done, let me know, and I'll wear it on the red carpet.
Right.
And yeah, and also the city council president, Herb Wetson, he saw it and he loved it. He said he wanted to wear it. So I was getting people from different ethnicities, cultures, different ages that really like this. I did it because I like it first, and because of that, other people like it. So you always do what you like, and I'm pretty sure there's other people out there that's gonna like what you like.
Joe, did you want to say something?
Oh yeah, I was gonna just add. When I googled Baron's name, those movies that came up, those were movies you acted in.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know which movies came up. I know. Some
Church,
I produced as well.
Yeah. One of them was Eddie Murphy's
Mrs.
movie.
Church, yes.
Yeah, you acted in that.
I was in that movie. Yes, it wasn't really acting, but I was in the movie. They used my image. I came on set and they took photographs of me, and I was Eddie Murphy's father when he was younger. So when he looked at the picture in the movie, it was me as Eddie Murphy's father with him when he was a kid. So they used my image in that movie.
Oh, okay.
So I got that. Yes.
Cool. And the last question was, how did you meet Fedorov?
Fedorov. I met Fedorov when I was working on set as an actor, and he was doing wardrobe. That's how we met.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, it must have been one of Eddie's movies, right?
No, it was like a CSI movie, like a TV show movie that he was working on. Okay. It wasn't one of Eddie's movies. Yes.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. Nice.
Awesome.
He referred us to you, and
yes,
that was a big ups. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being with us. I appreciate it. Your commitment to service, Baron, you talked about knowing your niche, and that really stood out to me during the pre-interview. Could you talk a little bit about us tonight before we go about knowing your niche and what to do when you're in that niche? Once you found it?
Yes, I would like to. I wish I could remember the thoughts and feelings I had when I said knowing your niche. So let it come to me. Let it come to me.
It's gonna come to you.
Knowing your niche. There's niches in the riches. I can give you an example on a larger scale so that people can understand it. Because I like to kind of like speak in analogies and parables because you can really understand it. Okay. Like Nickelodeon, when they produce those TV shows, they know their niches are youth. When Disney produce movies, they know it's for the youth. Then Disney has another division under Disney, which is TriStar, and they produce action films. So action films is the niche for that production company. And then Disney owns another company, which is called Pixar, and they do animation. So they know their niche is animation. So when it comes to knowing your niche, this is for in business. It's like, who are you serving? Like my niche is serving the youth. Mm-hmm. You know, mainly our target range is between youth between 12 and 24. That's 80% of our demographic. Yeah. So it is knowing your niche and who you're serving. Mm-hmm. And that's what I mean by your niche.
That stuck with me. It's been with me since we spoke that day. And yeah, I got some big stuff for you too with that. So it's good to know your niche, right?
Know your niche.
Yes. Niches in the riches.
Striking back. I was going to do something.
Absolutely.
But I'm not gonna do that. Striking
just
back.
like Just like CBD, there's a niche for CBD. I mean, most people use CBD for pain. They to put CBD in product, in different liquids and potions and lotions, and people use it for pain or to work with anxiety. So that niche is for people in that area.
Relative, though, right? It's all relative. And we're all here for a
Yeah.
reason.
Yes,
And
we
we
are.
have to make sure that we optimize those opportunities.
I tell you what, Baron. I look at myself as a guy that has my hands in a lot of things, but listening to you tonight and seeing all you've done, man, you made me realize I ain't did nothing. Come on, man, you got
Grinding.
your hands in a lot of stuff, brother. Jeez, I don't know how. I mean, you got a lot of energy, man. That's great. I mean, you got to have, you got to be on point. You got to be focused, brother.
You know what? I know one of my gifts is being a bridge, is being a conduit. It's like I may not be an expert in something, but I can bring somehow people that I know. I'm able to bring people together for a deal to close, and it benefit both parties. And when that happens, I benefit as well monetarily.
Nice.
And that just happened recently. That's happened recently on a deal right now through cryptocurrency. I brought two people together that needed one another. We have this one guy that's been working on blockchain crypto technology for 3 years with his business, but he needed seed capital. He needed more capital to go to the next level. And then I was at a party and I mentioned, oh, my Bitcoin went up. And this guy heard it because he's a crypto expert, crypto genius. He said, Bitcoin? He said, you into cryptocurrency? I said, yeah, I got some Bitcoin. And this guy is like a crypto expert. And what he liked to do, he liked to invest in crypto companies and startups and IPOs. And then I linked those two people together. So now that guy's going to be getting funding for his blockchain to take it to the next level. And that guy's getting what he wants. So, and because of that, I get compensated for it because I brought both of them together. So I was the bridge.
It's really good, right?
Absolutely. Baron, you are everywhere. Look at you. So can you give our listeners your many handles one more time if they want to follow you and get involved with the Baron J Foundation? Where do they go?
Okay. You will go to sowaseedwithbaronj.com. SOW, the letter A, seed, SEED, with WITH, Baron, BARONJAY.com. And also my Instagram, which is my name, Baron J Littleton, BARONJAY Littleton, LITTLETON.
I've got a lot of people in the house tonight. We did a good thing. It's a good time tonight out in the Poetry of Justice show. Thank you, Baron, so much. I think we still got a little more time, but
We do.
I just wanted to be able to say that and give a couple of big shout outs to Facebook. We had a lot of people following us tonight, Baron, on our Facebook live feed, and got some shout outs and just wanted to say thank you again. People enjoyed the show and having you with us and all of the information. There's so much. There's just a wealth. And so what I would like to do is take heed to what you've spoken about and take heed to what you talked to us about in the pre-interview and knowing your niche. This is my niche and it's radio and I love it and it loves me back.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that you can come back and maybe we'll be doing something a little bit more refined, something more, maybe more in a box, if you will, a specific topic. And Lori and I will let you know what one of those things are. And I'll hit you up and say, hey, Baron, we're going to be doing a show on ABCD. Would you be interested in being a part of the panel? Is that something you would be open to invitation for?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay. What did you say, Jerry?
You don't only touch the youth, brother. You touch older brothers too, man. You motivate me a lot, man. This show here, it just showed me a lot, which it helped me out with realizing that I got a lot of work to do, brother. Because you just seem like your work is never done.
Right. So you can never say never anymore. Never say you can't do something anymore. I'm like,
Right.
Your work is never done, man. I mean, the stuff you said today was incredible. And your foundations and everything, I don't know how you get it all done.
No, right?
I know. The question is, when do you sleep?
Yeah, when do you sleep, brother?
Yeah.
Yes. One thing I sleep. I get at least 6 hours of sleep at night. But one of the things that I do is that I don't watch a lot of TV, and then when I do watch TV, it's kind of like for me to relax and binge out. And far as like sports, I don't watch a lot of sports on TV. Whereas a lot of people maybe put in through a course of a year, maybe 1,000 hours in sports. When they put in that 1,000 hours in sports, maybe I only put in 100 of the 900 hours I'm putting into what I want to do, and that's how I'm able to get so much accomplished. That's just
takes a lot. That takes a lot of discipline. That's very,
Yes,
very,
it
very
does.
honorable. Yeah.
Yes, because it's like I like if I'm going to the game and I'm taking clients there, it's fun to go. I'm benefited from it too. But just to be watching it, 15 hours a week watching sports on TV, it's not really benefiting me.
That's true.
Don't talk about me, Baron, now, because I watch it Thursday, Sunday, Monday.
Well, you haven't invested in.
That was like a little uppercut right there,
That was like what Pastor used to say, while you watching somebody else run after their dreams, you can be out creating your own dreams.
Exactly.
Good old Reverend Dr. Pastor G. Remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again, Baron. We so appreciate it. I think we have run out of time here at the Poetry Justice
All right.
with Jackie Ray.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome, Baron. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll talk with you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Baron.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
We'd love for you to come
You're
back.
Anytime, invite me.
Okay. Have a good night, guys.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome, Gerald.
You're welcome.